Hi students, in this lesson we're going to cover card sorting and developing your information architecture for your app. We use card sorting as a technique during I'm Your Biggest Fan, and we're going to apply that same technique to our app project. So what you want to do is use Post-its or a dry erase marker and work with your team member to write down all your feature ideas for your app. So you might have this roughed out, but then you want to think about, for example, under ID, there's camera, what they can scan, and also how they'll catalog it. So again, you start to brainstorm how it's going to work. So it's not just the sections, but possibly how things will all connect and work together. Our next step is to take your card sorting exercise and translate it to an information architecture on the computer. Now we did this in I'm Your Biggest Fan, and what you want to do maybe a little bit differently this time is think about each feature and actually doing an architecture for each one of them versus doing a whole app architecture. Maybe break it up into different parts. So the difference between I'm Your Biggest Fan and our App Camp project is how we're going to talk about the feature. During I'm Your Biggest Fan, we just talked about a feature as one individual page. But on App Camp, we're going to talk about a feature based on multiple options of what it can actually do. So we're going to think about from beginning to end for the user. So for example, under Identify, they have three options where they might scan a dish, scan a fridge, or scan an item. So if I scan the fridge, what it's going to do is translate to a list of items. Then it's going to give me a confirmation of what those items are. Then after that, it's going to make a recommendation of what to make with those items, and then possibly add that recipe to a schedule or, for example, a calendar. So what the students are doing differently, again, is it's not just one page. They're thinking how each step would go from the beginning of the scan and what the process is to the end of the experience. So again, that's the really big difference between I'm Your Biggest Fan and App Camp, is recognizing that a feature is not just one page, but it's a series of steps that walks the user from beginning to end for the actual feature. So I want each team to brainstorm out 3+ features and make sure that you're thinking about all the possible scenarios that a user would go through from beginning to end. Our lesson has now come to an end. We covered card sorting and information architecture. The big idea for this lesson is in the information architecture to again make sure that you consider the feature to be a series of steps for the user and not just an individual page. I wish you all the best of luck and have fun.